So what we just heard was I Awake.
Yes.
And we went right into some deep cuts.
Yeah.
So tell us about that record and that song, and
Yeah.
maybe even why you chose that song to open with.
I really like the outro of that song. Let's see, that song was from Louder Than Love, which was 1988. And it was a little bit of a transition record for us because our bass player, Hiro Yamamoto, left after that record.
Yeah.
But that particular song was one that he co-wrote with Chris and Kim, and I always liked it. I was in the studio with Kim when he was recording all of his guitar parts, so that song holds a special place in my heart.
Yeah.
Mostly because it's really fun to play.
Yeah. In that track, like the vamp at the end, there's a lot of space.
Yeah.
And I love like a lot of those fills. Like you use the toms in such a creative way.
I try. I mean, I don't know if that was the best performance there, but
I mean, what is it, like 30 years later or something?
30 years later. But yeah, it's always fun to do something different each time on that outro.
Yeah.
And that's kind of why I like playing it.
Nice. So we're going to kind of start at the beginning and work our way to some newer material.
Okay.
But talk to us a little bit about when you joined Soundgarden. Like, what was the state of the Seattle scene at the time?
Yeah.
What kind of bands were you coming from when you joined Soundgarden? Like, what was your background at that time?
I moved to Seattle in 1983 from San Diego. When I first got into town, I was playing with some local rock bands and some like really weird arty farty kind of projects. Like
Yeah.
I worked with a choreographer, and I did like solo drums with dance. I mean, all kinds of weird shit. Some jazz gigs. I played in a theater. I was like a theater, pit drummer, all that kind of stuff. So I feel like by the time I got to Seattle, I had a lot of experience. But the local rock scene became aware of me, and I became aware of them when I started playing with bands like there's a band called Feedback that I played with, and then that turned into Skin Yard. So I was playing in a lot of bands around 1983 or 84, 85, and that's when I met the Soundgarden guys. They were playing in another band at that time. So yeah, I met all those guys pretty soon after I arrived in Seattle.
Yeah.
And I just really was impressed with how unique and original kind of the music was, and the people were, unique.
Yeah.
Different from what I grew up with. I felt like I fit in immediately, and I was accepted in the local community pretty quickly. But I started sort of playing gigs with the band Skin Yard, and that's when I started meeting my tribe,
Yeah.
so to speak.
And do you think because Chris was a drummer as well, like was he looking for something really specific?
I don't think it was specific as much as he liked the way I played, and my presence in the band enabled him to write more adventurous music. So I think he was looking for someone that could tackle the kind of music that he was, coming up with. But
So-
yeah, being a drummer, I think helped him tackle some of the more rhythmically challenging riffs and songs that he eventually started to write, and that was right up my alley as well. But the song I just played, "I Awake," has a really cool like 3-3-5 part in the verse. So that was sort of the first foray into like 3s and 5s and 7s, and so I always like playing that one.
Yeah. I think a lot of people forget that. I mean, they listen to Spoon Man and the hits.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, there's lots of odd time in there, but when you go back to the earlier records, it's still in there. Like
Kinda.
it's part of the DNA of the band.
Kinda, yeah.
So
Our record, Ultra Mega OK, has some really weird stuff in there as well. So yeah, I think it's always been a part of our musical makeup.
yeah. And you've said that even the guys that when you met them in Seattle, they were still doing that stuff before you got there.
Yeah.
But was it
yeah.
more emphasized when you joined the band because you were also into that stuff?
I think so. Like, I think that transition became a little more seamless, when Chris was singing and playing drums, it might have been more challenging for him to kind of do both at the same time and play 5/4 and 7/4 and stuff like that. So that gave him, I think when I joined it gave him the room to spread out and branch out a little bit more.